Good morning, everyone. I believe that the world could be made better. I believe there will be, or there could be, a time when children of men who could become children of God will stop fighting and start embracing one another. I believe that these are possibilities, and I also believe that these could happen when mankind or humankind play its own part. And I believe again that the people known as the people of Israel, one of the streams of humanity, have a role to play in getting this era realized if humanity really needs and wants to go in that direction. I believe it's up to us. Why do I say this? God has given man a lot of freedom of action, giving man power over so many things. I have a PhD in religious studies and I believe completely in God, and I believe in the revelations we see in the holy book called the Hebrew Bible. And I believe completely on the tradition called Omenana, which I have found impeccable evidence that it was the tradition that the writers of the Hebrew Bible were referencing. You get it? I just explained why I believe that this better era is possible if humanity wants it, and also why I believe that the people of Israel have a role to play in getting us to these places, what I'm going to talk about next. I've experienced the Israelite culture from living it. Most people in the world still cannot believe that there existed a people who did not have kings, who did not have a standing army, a regular police, and they had more peace, more calmness, more, mention it, than its neighbors who had empires, armies, kingdoms. Again, these people that I'm referencing again had no prostitution, no destitution, no homeless people between the 19th and 20th century, after their land had become the epicenter of the slave raids that fed humans to the New World. How were they able to do this? They were able to do this because they lived the Israelite culture. Not the perfect Israelite culture, because if they had lived the perfect Israelite culture, their land would not have become the center of the slave trade. But the vestiges, the residues of that culture that they tried to live by, enabled them to have a reign that had no prostitutes, no destitutes, no homeless people. It's not easy to wipe out prostitution. To wipe out prostitution means you have to have every man and every woman in marriage. And this sounds simple, but it is not simple. You need a set of traditions, you need a religion that could make humanity to be able to achieve what I said. And the Israelite culture expressed in Omenana, was able to get these people. Today they are called Igbo people. But if they want to reference, if they want to refer to themselves, they call themselves Ibiri. So, because I believe that the people of Israel have a role to play, I have been unrelenting in trying to get the people of Israel to even begin to see one another. Today, there are at least 350 million people who could lay strong claims on being connected to the people of Israel. A Jerusalem-based demographer supported this. Daniel Lees wrote about this. But today, the only groups we can connect to the ancient Israelites through language, religion, their traditional religions, and traditional cultures are number one. The ones you call the Igbos today. They are still living the way Moses, Aaron, Isaiah lived. The second largest, the group you call the Ashkenazi Jews. The third largest, the group you call the Sephardi Jews. Then the Beta Israel of Ethiopia. While their language, the language they produced, may not be related to the language used by the earliest Israelites, their traditions speak to those traditions of the earliest Israelites. Then the Samaritans and the Karaites who broke away from the Ashkenazi and the Sephardi, and the Mizrahi Jews. I shouldn't fail to mention the Mizrahi Jews. These groups broadly represent these 350 million people that can produce strong evidence that they are connected to the Israelites. When I mention some of these groups that can prove it, we would have at least 20 million African Americans and Caribbeans who can say our ancestors are Israelites because we came from the Igbo people. I've been at the forefront of trying to get all these groups together in a disciplined way, in a way that respects the integrity of every group, in a way that would be sustainable. And I'm happy when I see the groups that have more power joining in this call. So I bring to you what one of the most educated rabbis in this world, Hakham, Dr. Rabbi Yehonatan Elazar the Mota wrote about Omenana and Torah. He said, Igbo Kwenu. Last week's Pereshah, Korah, discussed a very important narrative which forms an integral part of Igbo tradition and law. After the fiasco with Korah and his cohorts, Hageburah instructed Moshe Rabbi Noah to tell the children of Israel to make staves, one for each tribe. The staff that budded was the chosen tribe to present offerings and to benefit from the tithes. In Omenana, Igbo Halaha, the offer is a reminder of this instruction. A deep anthropological study of the clan among the Igbo can indicate how biblical Israelites organized themselves after the incident of Korah. Rabbis and scholars of the Torah should take into account Igbo legend and law in understanding the Torah. The survival of the Igbo culture, despite the colonial endeavors of the British Empire, is a testimony that Hageburah is faithful. This was written by a Jew, a rabbi, who holds a master's degree in religious studies and a PhD in law. So what more is to be said? He led the Abadaya Alliance Institution, that studied the culture of the Igbo people and gave the only rational ruling that the Igbo people are linear descendants of the Israelites. As the leader of Omenana defenders, has also ruled that the Ashkenazi Sephardim Mizrahi Jews, the Beta Israel, the Samaritans and Karaites, are also linear descendants of the biblical Israelites. We will get there. I see cosmic things. When things are happening, they are happening for a reason. And I see things that most people in the world are not able to see. But let this be a discussion for another day. If the Spirit moves you, if Awu moves you, hit the subscribe button, share widely, or recommend to your friends and family to do the same. And in this regard, I say our brothers that are doing the same, Madabushi Dibia, Engineer Zogo, thank you, thank you, thank you. Dalo, Dalo, Dalo.